Yes, hello, good evening. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to Look North. The headlines then in East Yorkshire and Lincolnshire this Monday night. The council is accused of putting cost-cutting before care as it plans to remove wardens from sheltered accommodation.
Warden, this community will die because we'll be back to square one. We'll all be isolated.
Disabled football fans who were rained on at Lincoln City's ground say the club needs better facilities. Lorry drivers are left with large bills after being encouraged to take action, which proved to be a tax dodge.
Right, Sarah, what we need to do is get you out of them wet clothes.
And how a dog walker survived falling into freezing cold canal in East Yorkshire.
Changeable, often mild week to come. Join me for the very latest forecast.
Good evening. Vulnerable people living in sheltered accommodation in East Yorkshire say that their safety is being put at risk by plans to replace wardens who visit them at their homes. East Riding of Yorkshire Council currently employs dozens of wardens who check on elderly residents to make sure that they're okay. It now wants to replace them with a telephone helpline and a new role of mobile support officer. But residents say that they've been left in the dark and have accused the council of cutting costs. Caroline Bilton joins us now from sheltered accommodation in Woodmansea. Caroline, why does the council want to get rid of the wardens?
Well, the council says this is about a smarter way of working, using its resources in a more flexible way to target support as and where it's needed. But residents here on this sheltered housing here tonight say their warden provides more than just for their daily needs. She provides a friendly face, peace of mind, a sense of security. And for people here, they feel that if they lose that designated warden, it could put them at risk.
When you've got a warden, it's quicker for the warden to get to you than a responder.
People here are worried they'll no longer feel safe and secure in their homes.
The warden here for me is security. I've spent a lot of time living in crisis housing, and being here I found it very difficult to trust at first, but the warden soon put me at ease. And the fact that she contacts me every day is wonderful because I have somebody to speak to.
The elderly and disabled residents of Shopworth Way sheltered housing in Woodmansea currently have a warden on site around 40 hours a week. But under new proposals by the East Riding of Yorkshire Council, this person could be replaced with a mobile warden. And residents here have also been told they could lose their communal areas.
She's not just a warden, she's a friend. She's been here a long time, at least 8 years. She's a friend. She's people's morale. People who can't get out of bed in the morning, she will go in and visit them 3 times a day, talk to them, and they feel less isolated. They're happier when she leaves. Take the warden away, and well, what have they got? They're isolated again.
If we lose contact with the warden, this community will die because we'll be back to square one. We'll all be isolated.
East Riding of Yorkshire Council owns and manages 1,800 sheltered housing properties. They employ 53 wardens, some of whom work on specific sites and are available for residents during the day. Under the new proposals, wardens will be replaced with community support officers who will work on a mobile basis, and the telephone helpline will be expanded.
Increasingly, we're seeing that councils are investing in assistive technology or telephone systems to replace the human element of wardens. But actually, there's a real concern about that because I think what it loses is the human interaction, which for a lot of older people is really, really important. At Age UK, we've done research showing that loneliness and isolation can have a really detrimental effect on people's health.
Are people at risk as a result of these proposals, in your opinion?
Without doubt. In my opinion, without doubt.
The local authority says it intends to offer a more tailored service, but people here say they feel it's a cost-cutting exercise at the expense of the most vulnerable. Well, the council says a period of consultation is underway, but there was real anger here tonight from people. They feel as though they've been kept in their dark. They say they haven't been consulted with at all. They've heard this evening that a drop-in session will take place here in the lounge here behind me on Wednesday. Other sessions will be held across the county throughout the rest of this month. Peter.
Caroline, thank you very much indeed. And of course, if this one affects you, you can have your say in just a moment. John Skidmore is from the East Riding of Yorkshire Council. This afternoon, I asked him if this was a proposal or a done deal.
Peter, we're consulting on a proposal. Supporting vulnerable residents across the East Riding remains and is a top priority for the council. We support thousands of people every day, and what we're talking about here is our sheltered housing schemes. We consulted last year, and what our residents told us in the 2,000 people that live in our sheltered housing schemes is they wanted to feel safe and secure. They wanted affordable support.
Yes.
They wanted a flexible approach, and that is what we've listened to, and we're consulting again to see what we're coming forward and meets their needs.
You say you've listened to, but there's a lot of anger. One resident wrote to me just today saying this is simply a cost-saving exercise. Can you look us in the eye and tell us it's not a cost-saving exercise?
Peter, what I can tell you is in terms of sheltered housing, this has not been driven by cost. You on your programmes over the last decade will have talked about public sector funding reductions in local government, and that impacts on the East Riding. What we've done is we transform services and deliver better outcomes where we can, using technology, working with our staff. And what we're talking about here on sheltered housing is not about cost reduction. What people are telling us is that some people who live in our schemes don't need any support. Some people are working, they're over 60 but are working, don't need support, and they are charged for the scheme.
But Mr. Skidmore,
who really want...
If you take away wardens, do you accept that these people who've written to me today are going to feel more isolated and more vulnerable under these new measures? There's a lot of anger, and people say they haven't properly been consulted. They're being kept in the dark about this.
Peter, you're right. People are passionate about the wardens. Our staff do a fantastic job, and people quite rightly value them, which is why it's important that we talk to people about need. We talk to people about the service.
So if these people fill in the form and say we want to keep the wardens just as we've got them now, as many as we have now, you would say, yeah, we've listened to the people, yeah, we can keep those wardens? Or are you determined to get rid of wardens?
Peter, those questions are on the questionnaire. If people tick
I know
that box,
they're on the questionnaire. I know they're on the questionnaire.
But it's about listening to them.
I know they're on the questionnaire. I'm asking you, if people say we want to keep the system as they do, which is what people are saying here in these letters, then you will keep it as it is?
What we've done, Peter, is listen to people last year. We've formulated some proposals. We're listening again. We'll listen to what people tell us, which is why we're going about it. Delighted that you're publicising it today. The consultation runs well the end of October. We want to listen to as many people because supporting our vulnerable residents is a top priority, and that's what it's about. So we will listen. We've got many residents who absolutely, fundamentally want their wardens and value their support. That is key, but equally we've got people living in our sheltered housing who want an offer on a Saturday and a Sunday, and some people who don't want that service at all, and that's fine. So we want to be flexible, but we're listening, Peter. That's what it's about, listening to our residents, telling us what they want.
We'll see what people think about this one. Very good to talk to you tonight, Mr. Skidmore. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you.
Well, there we are. That's John Skidmore from East Riding of Yorkshire Council. Is he listening? Are you happy with the response that he was giving on this one? Your view on the subject of wardens? Do you think there are too many wardens? Are you convinced by what you've heard from the council? Do you or family members rely on the wardens? If you're in the area, are you affected? The email address is there. Look North, all one word, as usual, at bbc.co.uk. Text 81333. Again, start the text with the word Look North, or follow me on Twitter on the subject of wardens. Look forward to hearing from you. We'll have some when we're done just before 7 o'clock. Subject of removing wardens in sheltered accommodation. Peter, the councillor interviewed, obviously likes the sound of his own voice. One should realise the needs of older and disabled people. Tony says this is a result of the government's austerity drive, forcing the council to make cuts. David says, just seen John Skidmore saying he's listening to people. The fact is, you couldn't get a word in edgeways. What a disgrace for a representative of the East Yorkshire Council. Dean said, of course it's about cost cutting. It's a done deal. The wardens will go and will be replaced by a phone, not the same. And Christine in Lincoln says, I just hope they keep these wardens. A big response on this story. Thank you very much indeed for all of these on the subject of the wardens and the sheltered accommodation, and for watching as well. Have a nice evening. Join me later if you can at 10:30. If not, then I'll see you tomorrow at usual time, 6:30. Take care. Bye for now.